Okay, so right now we're demonstrating how to print a job using Mamaki Rasterlink Pro. To begin with, go to the Start menu, and launch the program. Either use the shortcut or go to Programs and find the Mamaki Rasterlink folder and then launch the app from there with a single click. You'll see the Mamaki logo. Then you'll see a splash screen with the individual components launching, and that will be followed by the main window of the software. Okay, so here we see the Mamaki main window. It shows the File menu, the Tool menu, and the Environments menu at the top. That's followed by a bar graph showing the amount of disk space used. I have 381 gigabytes available, which is plenty. CPU usage, mine's at fairly high, but that's because I'm doing a recording. Physical memory is shown in blue. I have 3.2 total available. Of that, 1.1 is actually available for this application. Again, that's because I'm recording video. My job queue is started and my auto execution is stopped. That means the job queue is when the machine processes jobs from the hot folder into the job queue, and the auto execution is when jobs are picked up from the job queue and sent to the printer. So we want to have job queue started and we want auto execution stopped. Okay. Now, looking at the CJV30 tab, we can go to the General tab, and that tells me that my machine is in remote mode and it's idle. My media is 22 inches wide, and I have no margins set up. My ink system, we can see that I'm short on black ink in one cartridge, but the other one has 74, so there's adequate ink available. My heater settings can be checked here, and the version tab shows me what firmware is available on the printer. So that's pretty straightforward. Going back to the job list, we can go to File and select the Open command to import a job into the job list. When we do, we'll see a list of available files. I can select this EPS file, or I can go to View by File Type, and it will tell me that my available file types include PostScript, encapsulated PostScript, TIFF files, PDF files, BMP files, and JPEG files are all supported. So the EPS file is the one I want. And on the right hand side, if you have more than one printer, you'll see it listed here. We just have one, the CJV30. We want to send this file in multifunction mode, and we're going to use the default CJV30 print condition. Then we click Open, and it loads the job into the queue. Okay, so going on to process this file, you can double click on it, or you can right click, choose the Edit command. That'll open up the file, and you can go to Image Edit, click on the graphic, and you can choose to scale it. I'm going to bump this up to 200%. Okay, and you can scale it out of scale if you want. You can rotate it 90-degree increments, upside down, or turn it back around the right way. You can also click and drag to change the margins, or you can dial in by the numbers. This will give you additional space if you need to laminate your job and you want some area around it as white space. You can also change your number of copies, and you can change the space between the copies. Scan being horizontal and feed being vertical distance. You can also enter your own intervals in there if you don't want 1-inch increments. Pitch is the amount of space between copies, and not between the copies, but actually from copy to copy space. We'll go with a 1-inch gap between each of 4 copies here. You can trim the graphic by clicking and dragging on the icon, and this will trim away any extra space, or you can go back and you can put them in by the numbers, the trimming from the left, right, top, and bottom. We're going to put some registration marks on this, which will aid in trimming the job after it's printed, so you know exactly how much white space is required to accompany the image. And we're going to skip over the layout and paneling. You can look those up in the manual. They're not really necessary for this particular training. However, you will want to know about adding a label to your graphic. This will include things like the date and the image file name. The print mode is very useful to have, and the recital button at the bottom lets you add your own comment that will be printed with the graphic. This is useful for post-production instructions or for recording the details of how it was printed. Okay, tiling edit's also available, but that's for another video. Color edit, kind of the same thing. It's very powerful, but it's beyond what we have time for in this graphic, in this training. So we'll move on to print condition. And in the print condition, we set the settings to the printer. So we're going to select GPVC profile, use 720 by 1080, and that automatically dials in the correct settings down below. It's going to be 12 pass, bidirectional, leading and trailing margins, again useful for laminating. Overprint is 1 pass. Fast printing means a high-speed carriage movement. Cut media after print is something you'll want to avoid, because that will actually drop your print on the floor when it's finished. Going to device adjustment, you can set your preheat settings and print heat and post heat. Also your media feed speed. If it needs adjustment, then click OK. Right-clicking on the job, you can choose immediate print, rip and print, or rip only. And if it's a print and cut job, you could go down to the cut menu and you could do one of the options there. However, this is not a print and cut job, so we'll go back up and we'll choose rip and print. Now we'll see it reading in the job, it's rendering, and then it'll locate and print, and that's when it'll communicate with the printer and actually begin the print job. So now you have a process job in Rasterlink. Congratulations.